Welcome to my humble little office. My name is R. Keith Andrews. I'm a spiritual guide and paranormal adept. The journey continues today on July 4th, 2022 at approximately 10:26 p.m. PST. Well, I cut that a little close today. In all fairness, I just about didn't do a video, and this one's going to be short. The really sad part, there's good things and bad things that happen all the time. Okay. Um, the sad reality of it is we all have challenges, we all have tribulations, if you will. Trials and tribulations, I believe, is the way they usually put it. But here's the thing. That's one of the things that we all have in common. Now, I've managed to change things around for me, and one of the primary things that I am still focusing on. When I first came to this world, this lifetime, I came back with one primary purpose in mind: to remind people that working together, we can make this a better world for virtually everybody. Now, the day started off a little on the rough side because my mom actually passed away. This would have been her birthday today. She actually passed away on her birthday in 3 years, so 2019. Okay, born on the same day she passed away. Now, the fact of the matter is, and I do caution all of you, if you have a falling out with your parents, do not make the mistake of doing what I did. We had a little bit of a disagreement for looking back on it. What was likely pretty silly complications, but it was years ago, and I never got around. Quite frankly, procrastination is a really bad thing. I never got around to patching things together. So by the time mom and dad passed away, I've been out of contact with them rather severely for a number of years. In all fairness, for over a decade. Then, of course, my brother back in March passes away. Okay. And we never had a falling out. It's just we were in two different worlds. But I never made the effort that I should have in order to reconnect and stay connected. So, of course, here we have that starting off, and I'm dealing with that side of it. Okay. You probably have the same situation. I encourage you, if you've had a separation from your family or from longtime friends, okay, absolutely, I encourage you to reach out to them. Close that gap before it is too late. Now, this came to a real head. This whole thing of looking back on the things I'd overlooked or missed. Okay, I missed a whole pile of things at that point. But here's the neat little kicker to it. Okay, my 40th grad reunion is coming up now, and I didn't actually think I was going to make it because I had the money to do it, but the travel restrictions were still in place, which would have made it impossible. Well, I've just finished today. Cost me a little more because of the fact I had to wait to the last minute, but I managed. See, I went to my 30th, and I wanted to get to the 40th because when I was graduating, I told people that I was going to get in, that I was going to become an author. Well, this time on the 40th reunion, I didn't think I'd be able to make it. In all fairness, okay, but fortunately, I did. Or more to the point, I'm going to be able to. Travel restrictions have been released. Now, my health has never been bad. I don't think it's ever been better. Okay, I'm in better shape now than I was 15 years ago. But they brought the travel restrictions down, so I was actually able to get the travel set up. And now I can honestly say I'm actually going to make it to my 40th. And the important factor for me from that, there's a lot of people, like I said, if you lose contact with people, please do your best to reconnect. Don't know what I'm going to do with that. But see, I told people when I was graduating, I was going to be published. Well, this, of course, I'm taking with me. Wow, what does my computer do? I don't need that. I'm taking this with me. proof positive that when I said way back when I was in grade 10, okay, or more to the point, I told them in grade 12 I'd publish. Here we have that little thing, and I really wanted to take this with me. Okay, so this time when I go down, I'm actually taking the books down with me. No, I'm not looking for sales, in all fairness. This is just simply, here's what you can do if you sink your mind into it. Now, it took me, literally, I was 15, so 44 years to actually get the story written. And I'm in the middle of writing it right now. But this is why I say it is absolutely critical when you put something on hold, if it is at all possible, reach back out and connect with people. Okay, because I will tell you, I was looking at one and it really brought it home. When I was back in grade 10, we had a classmate that I had warned. I told her there's a party going on. Do not get into the car with somebody that's been drinking. Just don't do it. Now, this was a very, we're dealing with 15, 16, 17-year-old sort of thing. Okay, that's just the way it was. And she turned around, got into the car, while the two people she was with had been drinking. The two people she was with survived. She was stone cold sober and didn't make it through the night. Frankly, to this day, it still bothers me. Okay, but I'm stacked a whole pile of things up, and one of the big issues that I'm looking at this point is to remind you that, for pity's sakes, if you put something on hold, if you've lost contact with somebody because of circumstance, make the effort to reach out. Okay, make the effort to reconnect before it is too late. With my mom, my dad, and two of my brothers, I don't have that option. Okay, I just don't. And even my grandmother. Okay, I don't have that option. Don't let that mistake be your outcome. Okay, like I'm going back to this grad reunion now. Okay, in a lot better shape than I was in the last one. Which is, well, frankly, not really that hard, considering how bad my shape was to start with. But what I'm doing at this point and like I said, I'm going to keep this one really short, I think. Well, unless I get rambling. But the fact is, there is so much that we can do, and you look at what's going on in the world and go, how do we deal with this? Well, I'll tell you, how we deal with it is start listening to each other, start communicating with each other. I was shown a clip today about this issue of so many school shootings. Okay, and this one kid made the comment about it. Okay, this one student said, "Look, the school shootings are pretty simple. Kids desire to be heard. It's not about the guns. It's not about the killing. It's about people are not listening to other people. It's just not happening right now." I still get people pointing at everybody else, going, "It's all your fault that my life is messed up." Bad news. It's our own fault. I cannot effectively point the finger at anybody else and say, it's somebody else's fault that I did not reconnect with my own family. Okay, and here I am, 59 years old. There is nothing I can do about it. The ones that have passed, well, in my case, I can. I'm a working medium. Okay, but I can't do anything about the fact they're dead. I can't do anything about the lost time. Neither can you. But the one thing we all have to realize is that we are, no matter where you come from, no matter what your pocketbook looks like, or any other differentiators, you're going to die. Okay. But the question isn't are we going to is not are we going to die? The question is, are you going to live your life to its fullest while you're here? Are people going to just notice your passing and go, "Oh," or not notice your passing and go, "Oh, he's gone"? Okay, or she's gone. The trick to immortality, okay, is quite literally live a memorable life. Reach out to the people that you can. Make a difference. Be the smile that person really needs to feel at that point. Okay. And for pity's sakes, quit finding different things to differentiate yourself from people. Okay. We all have the same outcome. Every one of us is going to pass away. Now, granted, some of us make more runs at it than others. Okay. And does that make anybody better than the next? No. We're still going to end up dead, and you're still not taking your material stuff with you. But in the case of what you do with your life at this point, now it is time to really look to the future and go, where am I heading? What is it that I desire to do? Well, for me, it's easy. Okay, these two books. Okay, The Birth of the Wolf Pack and The End of an Epic. That's only 2 of a dozen novels I'm working on. Okay, so I'm working on those 2. I've got Races of the Worlds. 59 races, and I'm working very hard on the. As a matter of fact, don't know if I showed these to you the other day. Yeah, those were the kind. Yeah, that was the big chameleons. Let me just see. Oh, yes. The Aurora. Cute little race. This is one of those neat little critters this is one of the neat little critters. This one, I think, this is going to be in actually volume 2. Okay. And this here, the Aurora heart, is what they call themselves. Show you in half a second as soon as I get my hands working. Okay. Now, of course, you're needless to say going to know those as dragons. Okay. They too are in book 2. Now, these ones, again, and I had to get somebody else to draw these because, well, frankly, I am not that good. Okay. Matter of fact, I do really good with a stick man that looks like he got dropped down a staircase into a carburetor. Here's your smaller chameleons. Now these guys are right in the Birth of the Wolf Pack. Okay. And here's another nice little race that comes to mind. This is another one. And these are pictures that are going to be in the second printing of the Races of the World. I've also got a children's book called Mr. Dreamcatcher. I've got another one called Mr. Dreamcatcher Returns that is due to come out this coming week. Okay. Working on putting a poetic anthology together. And of course, the 2 books that I've got right here. Where are they? Right there. These 2 here. Follow your dream, believe in yourself and follow your dreams, which is the backbone to how I changed everything around in my life. And believe in your business and follow your dreams. Now, there are 10 other books in this particular series that I'm also working on. But when I was 15, I told my classmates I was going to publish. Okay. Well, this is why I tell people, if you're going to do something, make sure you put your mind to it. Do not let anybody tell you cannot do it. Okay. Now, clearly, if it's a legal thing, do not do it if it's illegal. I'll tell you right now, you don't need the hassles. But the reality of all of this is these are just little things that I've done, and I've hit a point in my life now, thankfully, I'm actually able to go to my 40th reunion. I really didn't think I was going to manage to pull it off. And the really neat thing about it for me is I honestly did not think I would ever find peace of mind. I'll tell you, that was a shock when I found that I did. I know exactly what I'm doing. I know exactly where I'm heading for and why. And now it is just a question of making it happen. Okay. It's very much an issue of when I put my mind to something, that's where it's going. See, if you think about it, when you get an idea in your mind, do you let somebody derail it? I know of way too many people that have written books and they got finished writing the book and somebody said, "Oh, that's not good enough." They believed them and put them on the shelf. This is not a great move. Okay, I am a firm believer that if there is any way you can accomplish your dreams, even if you're accomplishing them later than what you were expecting. Like in my case, I was not planning on taking it. And we're just going to pause that for a second. Well, that certainly changed things a little. Quick little interruption I had to deal with, but life goes on. The one thing I must remind you of, when you've got kids, it is absolutely critical that you do pay attention to them. As I saw posted one day, we're not raising children, we're raising adults. We're raising the people that are taking over for us once we're gone. Even if you're just a young parent right now, you're doing the job to correct the mess that's already been left. Okay, now the world is changing, there is no question. And you cannot alter what has already gone by. Okay, the fact of the matter is the past is the past, and that is where it's going to stay. I could get into time travel, but that's not the important factor right now. Okay, yes, I do have my own view about it. Sooner or later, I'll get around to explaining why it does not work the way most people are thinking. Okay, and yeah, it'll go against what a lot of people are telling you. Okay, I am not professing to be the most knowledgeable individual. Okay, but you've got to look at things from the standpoint of you cannot alter the past. If you've lost time with people, if you've lost contact with people that you used to get along with really well, and you didn't have a fallout, it's just circumstance threw you away, make the effort now to reconnect, to put that time back together so that you can actually enjoy what time you've got with them. Do not make the mistake I did. Okay, do not make the mistake of letting that separation drift. I did that, and I did not get the opportunity to patch things up with mom, dad, my two brothers. Okay. Now, in all fairness, the one brother, when Brian passed away years ago, my second oldest brother, he ended up in a coma for a year where he couldn't move. Well, he wasn't in a coma. From what I gather, he couldn't move, he couldn't talk. He was just there, trapped in his own body for a year. Now, I did see him a couple of times. Ken, I never had, my eldest brother, I never had the time. Well, more to the point, I never made the time to reconnect with. He's gone. I don't have any option as far as physically reconnecting. Okay. I was really happy about something just the other day. Just yesterday, I think. I gave my father, I had actually crocheted him a multicolored blanket. Okay, because he would, as he got on, he started getting a little colder and what have you. So I didn't have a lot of money at the time. I actually ended up crocheting him a full throw blanket to put on his legs when he was sitting resting. And I asked my older brother to keep an eye out. I would like to have it back. Well, he sent me a picture the other day. My brother did. Sent me a picture, and that quilt is coming back to me. Same as the one that I gave to my second oldest brother. These are things that I put the effort into, that I made the connection with. Right. These are all coming into play, and again, it boils down to this: you can do the same thing. There's a saying that went, and I'm going to take a quote that some people are going to get upset about in all likelihood, but quite literally, all that I do, you can do and more. Now that's putting it in modern English, okay, and poorly. Sounds so much better in old English. In case you hadn't noticed, I tend to swap between the two. Unfortunately for me, in some ways, that has created some complications. Now, I mentioned this the other day, this particular little booklet here. Okay, this one, sooner or later, I'm going to put to print, but for the moment, it's just in booklet form. Okay, but when I do put it to print, I certainly will not be changing the spelling. The thing is completely channeled. I didn't even know what it was until 4 years after I wrote it. And that's a long drawn out story. But when you have put things on hold, when you've lost connection with people, right now, well, not this hour of the night, we are at 11 o'clock at night. Right now is a bad idea. Okay. But reach out to the people you've lost contact with. Put the negative past to rest. Okay. You do not have to when we talk about forgiving people, I am not talking about forgetting. Okay. I'm talking about forgiving the problems that happened in the past enough that you can move forward. Okay. Oddly enough, there's a couple of people that were real bullies when I was growing up. Okay. I'm hoping that some of them will be at the reunion I'm going to in order to see if we can put a different twinge on things. Because I'll tell you, the bullying I went through as a kid was absolutely horrendous. And have I forgiven them for it? Certainly. Have I forgotten what was done to me? Not a prayer. Okay. So, I mean, I'm looking at things now. And of course, now I've got this curiosity situation. What do we got here? Uh-oh. And I'm just going to take half a moment out here and pause this. I'll be right back. Okay. Sorry about that. Couple of things that definitely take priority for me. Yes, I'm in the middle of recording. I realize that. This is a live recording. Okay. And what that means is all the hiccups, all the pauses, anything like that that happens, that's what I end up posting. Because as soon as I'm done recording this, I double check the date and then put it out. Now, the two things and the reason for these two pauses today, one, my son needed me for a minute, and he gets dominant attention right off the bat. Even when I'm doing my consulting work, if my children are in need, they get dominant priority. Okay. The other one that I just paused for was to let my other half know where things are standing. Okay. But like I told her, I've got about 10 minutes left here before I tie this off and call it a night. But when you put things on hold, okay, or you've had a goal derailed. Years ago, I had a client that had originally she desired to become a doctor. But when she got to me, she was 51 years old and had not attained that goal. Okay, well, we worked together. We worked together as in she'd call me, I'd help get her feet on straight, mentally speaking. She did the work. And I worked with her until she actually, 8 years later, okay, got her doctorate. She entered her medical school at 53. She got her doctorate, her MD, at 60. The only time it is too late for you to make amends, for you to put things back together, for you to complete a task or complete a goal, the only time it is absolutely too late is if you're dead. And rest assured, you will get there. Many of your goals may not be reached by the time you were hoping to. Like, in all fairness, if I'd have had my head on straight, I would have published 25 years ago. I would have had a very different life. Now, what I'm looking at this point with the stories I'm writing right now, because I write in 5 different genres: science fiction, science fantasy, children's, self-help, reference, and poetry. I don't write horror stories, I don't write suspense, and I don't write adult. Okay. Those are fields that I just don't touch. Oh, I don't write technical either. At least not technical from a mechanical standpoint. Okay. But if you've got a dream, if you've got a goal that you would have liked to do, whether it is physically building something or going somewhere. Like in my case, I really did desire this year. Like 10 years ago when our 30-year grad reunion came up, to me it was kind of a whim that I went. But I told myself at that point I was going to into my 40 year, if at all possible. Okay. Well, as it turns out, travel restrictions loosened up enough. I can actually make it. So I've already got the ticket. I've got the reservations. And of course, I travel so well. I'm so relaxed about it. Yeah, not. Got the whole thing set up. And after I had the ticket in my hand and all the money was already exchanged, I phoned the hotel that they said they had set me up for. So I phoned the hotel, and yes, they've got my reservation. So I'm now in a position where it's all bought and paid for, and now it's just a question of making it happen. And of course, I put something down. I am not about to forget what I did with that. Those are those pictures again. There it is. I cannot afford to lose this little thing. Okay. This being my flight tickets and itinerary and what have you. But the fact of the matter is, I made a commitment to myself that I would get to that 40-year grad reunion, if at all possible. I'll tell you, it was look and touch and go. With all the restrictions going on, I didn't think I was going to be able to make it. I had the money for it, that was the easy part. But I did not think I was actually going to attain that goal and get there. The one that surprised the heck out of me was when I actually found that peace of mind I was hoping to find. I really thought that wasn't going to happen. But the reality is, I am sitting in a position right now where I absolutely know where I'm sitting, where I'm heading, and how I'm going to get there. Still a lot of work to do. But like I said, I came back to this world to remind people that working together, we can make this a better world for virtually everybody. Okay, but it's going to require everybody, it's going to require the majority of people's assistance. You've got to take care of your stuff. You're the only one in existence that can be successful for you. Same as I'm the only one that can do it for me. But you can certainly talk to the people that have successfully changed their life, find out how they did it, and use their encouragement, take their guidelines, their tools, and adapt them to your own. Okay, I would love to hear your comments in the comments below, or if you look below this below this video and any of the others. Okay, you'll find a whole list of ways of getting a hold of me. Drop me a line if you've got a question that you don't desire the rest of the world to see. Okay, I will do my best to get back to you ASAP. Okay, there's still a couple of people I'm trying to sort things out with. Okay, but I will be back again tomorrow. Until then, take care of yourselves and each other, and for pity's sakes, stay positive.